everybody, it's Mike, and in this video we're going to be showing you how to play the C major 7 chord. And the C major 7 chord is usually written on your music a couple of ways, or it could be. C with a capital M and then a 7, but it could also be written C with the letters M, A, J and then a 7 afterwards. You make sure you've got exactly the right chord that you're looking for, so you don't play a minor 7 accidentally where it should be a major 7 chord. Alright, there are two ways to play the major 7 chord. One is really cool and easy, and it's in the first position. It only requires 2 fingers, and I use this major 7 chord quite a bit. Major 7 chords are really beautiful, and they're used as what I like to call color chords. In other words, they add some textures and some layers to the music that sound really nice. I find myself often when I'm going through strumming patterns alternating between major 7 chords and their standard major variety, because adding that 7 in there kind of gives it a lift or a different coloration or a different kind of a tone, and then we come back to the major chord. There is one thing I want to tell you to be careful about, though, and that is especially when you are playing music with vocalists, because when you have people that are singing in harmony or parts to you, you can't automatically substitute that major 7 chord in there anytime that you have a major, even if the fretting position is easier, because sometimes that note will conflict with the harmony that one of your vocalists wants to sing with you. Alright, that said, let's get right into the C major 7 chord. Okay, so where I'd like you to start is by playing a chord you should be very familiar with, and that is the C chord, which is a 5-string chord. And then what we'll do in order to voice this C major 7 is simply lift up our first finger and let this B right here ring out. So this is the C major 7 chord. Now the notes that we're playing here are C, E, G. Because we lifted this finger, we now have a B here, and that is the major 7. And then we have another E on top. Now there is another way to play a C major 7, and it is a movable chord shape. I'm going to cover that with you right now. It is a little bit more difficult, and so if you're ready to move on past this first shape, or the music that you're playing or the chord changes that you're in really dictate that you should be a few frets higher, I'm going to show you a very interesting movable chord shape that will work for you. Take your first finger and place it on the 3rd fret. Take your 3rd finger and place it on the 5th fret of the 4th string. Take your 2nd finger and place it on the 4th fret of the 3rd string. And then take your 4th finger and place it on the 5th fret of the 2nd string. So this right here, and you may recognize this from the A major 7 chord shape. This right here is your movable chord shape for a major 7 chord. It is a 5-string movable chord shape. That means we're rooted on the 5th string here. And there it is. There's your C major 7. Now you can, if you like, ring out this top E because you're just doubling that top note, or you can bar completely across with this and add that G on top. It's perfectly acceptable to do that, and you'll just have a little bit different voicing of the chord. Now classically, this movable chord shape right here is played as a 4-string chord, which means we don't play the top note and we don't play the bottom note on the guitar, so it's just these 4 strings. But as I said, you can add that top note if you like, and it's perfectly acceptable no matter where you're playing this chord shape on the neck. It will work. Although you may not want that voicing because that G is going to conflict a little bit with that 7th. In other words, you'll be a little bit more, it's going to stand out more than that 7th note that you've got in there. So I typically play this position as a 4-string chord, and it's these 4 central strings on the neck. Alright, cool. So we have the C major 7 chord, And these major 7 chords are really cool, and they can really most of the time be substituted and can be an alternate to a typical or a standard major chord, but not always. Alright, check out some of our other videos on destinyguitar.com and practice away at this C major 7 chord.